Alright, so there was a lot of things going on in the background when I recorded this footage, so I'm going to talk over most of it and give my opinions on some things. I was saving it for a later video, but we'll do it now. Feel free to just watch the footage and put on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever your choice is, and yeah. So really, most of my videos so far have been invasions, but I wanted to focus on duels in this one. This one does have invasions as well, but I'm new to PvP, so I think dueling is the best way to learn. You run across a lot of unique builds, a lot of very powerful builds, some crazy cheesy shit, I should say. I think things that are, I don't know if it's actually broken, but people are advocating to get certain things nerfed. Like, I don't know what it is, to get the little scythe and you set yourself on fire and then you just walk into people. That's kind of crazy for PvP. It's really weird. Or the shield freaking thing where you can't really damage them and they're hitting you with beams upside your head. You know, it's different puzzles for me to solve and work around, but all in all, not everyone's playing like that. Like, the majority of people are just trying out unique things and unique builds, and I'm having fun fighting against them. Even the outnumbered stuff, like when they're ganking you, it's a lot more exhilarating. I'm gonna focus more towards fighting outnumbered than just duels, but dueling does like help me to learn my build and help me to get adjusted to the many things you'll see in the game. Like, when you're getting ganked or whatever, you basically have to kill them fast or they kill you fast. You're not really seeing what's going on, and sometimes things go out of nowhere. Where when it's one guy, you're just like, okay, using that, now I know how to avoid that. For instance, when people used to use the fog rot thing, that was like medium distance, I try to roll it, and that was terrible. But when I'm medium distance, I just run backwards to avoid it. When I'm close, I just roll behind them, and learning things like that is crazy. For instance, the guy I just fought, you seen him like using a lightning mode. I haven't seen that move before, so I thought he was going to throw something out. And it took me a minute to figure out what was going on. And he's just like slamming his hand into the ground and is doing AoE damage. So it's great for learning a lot about new builds. And no, I don't win them all, but it's fun to pull it off against some of these things, especially since like this right here is just no special, no moonvilles, none of that trash. It's literally just two Uchis dual wielded and the flies to help proc a little bleed, since katanas have that inherent bleed, plus I have bleed on both of these. So bleed, however you feel about it, is but all status effects are like super powerful in this game. You know, the shit where they roll into you instantly kills you. The frost stomp and shit, it's powerful. So it's not just like it's bleed OP. They could tone down status effects and I wouldn't give a crap, but they have to be careful because like poison isn't as strong as the rest. So they go that route of like, okay, arcane doesn't boost it this much, or you really don't even need arcane to really be proccing this stuff. You just need like 2 to 3 consecutive hits, maybe even some buffs, but it doesn't hurt. So I really don't see the problem with it, though. I think the problem lies in that a lot of people don't have a good amount of health, and also I don't think they're building correctly. So I don't really have a problem with the status effects except the instant death dodge rolling, run into you, whatever bullshit it is. I don't know what it is. Just experiencing it is crazy. But all in all, I just wanted to go with a bare bones build and see how I did against all these things. And there's some unique things going on. Now, I wanted to talk about the healing in a 1v1 situation. I really don't think you should, but I'm not against it. What I mean is, like, if we're having an honor duel, you know, I would say for sure invasions, anything goes when you're outnumbered and things like that. But if we're just like, you know, it's just me and you heal, I think you should just take the L. But that's just me. I really don't mind if someone else just goes and drinks all the potions they want that's available to them. I didn't buy their game. I didn't pay for anything. I'm not trying to set rules, but I think it's just more of a, if you're drinking your potion at that point, I think you've already lost. You've already admitted I'm better. And if I actually drink your potion, win or lose, I think you've admitted I'm better, because things would have ended differently if you hadn't. And moreover, if you drink your potion and I win, that means I'm a lot better. not just a little better. So this is why I don't have a problem with it or against it. You're basically already admitted defeat, and the fight will go on, and now I'll drink my potion or something like that to mix and match. The magic potions work a bit differently. I mean, the FP in this game is stupid. Yes, you can have unlimited amounts for a time being with a spell, or if you're a magic build, you have a high pool, but those of us that are up close in melee have to really, think on what we do. Not to mention if we're invading, most our flask and things are cut in half, so we have to be very particular, which is why I don't mind, like, those ones. They're not, like, really prolonging the fight or anything like that. They're just giving you more magic, which a lot of the magic can be punished. A lot of it cannot, so you have to be careful what you're going up against. Some things, like, you can't just dodge roll or anything. You have to find line of sight or something to counter it. But without further ado, I'm going to get into some of these fights and narrate them in my thought process. This guy's build was actually really fucking cool. Like, respect to him for trying something different. Like, he didn't just go set himself on fire and start running into people. He had a nice little bleed frost build. So, yeah. Oh, speaking of the devil, this is the shit I'm talking about. This scythe and this fucking set yourself on fire and run into people shit. So I was aware of this because I've died to this. So, I mean, it's not fun, but I'm just trying to kite him out and run away. Like, he has no other plan but to run into me, get me poked on vines, and kill me. And he's not playing it right currently. He's trying to, like, attack me, and technically there's no real right way to play it. As you can see, like, if he runs into me one more time, it's going to take effect. But luckily it wore off, and I don't think he even noticed. I think he just, just started spamming and was like, I don't think he's lost on this. Like, it's been probably guaranteed wins for him since he's had it. So I don't want him applying all his buffs again, so I'm going to try to put some pressure on him. And I'm trying to stay at a distance to where if he tries to buff up, I can go in and really finish him quickly. So I'm maintaining spacing, but I'm staying back because that shit stacks up quickly. And I did teabag, but I don't teabag people unless they're just like this. They're running complete cheese. This guy, he has a really good caster build with a, melee substitute. And I didn't really want to get within too close of a range to him because that thing can outrange your rolls, even if you're not trying to roll catch someone. So that caught me completely off guard. I had never seen that before. I'm like, where did the cast come from? It hit me in my head, but since he healed, I healed. And he's basically, like, trying to keep me at bay with his cast while he's, runs me through with his spear to keep me at bay, but he missed, and I was able to get in close and finish it off rather quickly. This guy didn't see me for the longest. I actually cut it. Like, I seen him up on the hill running around, and I finally decided to come down and fight him. He's actually pretty good with his little... I don't know what the weapon is. Again, we're all new. It's like week 2 of Elden Ring for me, but he does a decent amount of damage, and what I didn't want to do here is get parried, so I did a few jumping attacks, and what I'm doing is trying to really pressure him because his weapon is faster than mine, but only on certain, like, R1 spams and things like that. I think everything else on my weapon comes out faster, so I'm trying to pressure him, and he's healing away, so I heal, of course. And what I don't want to do is get caught, and I didn't know he had magic to that point, so he supplemented his build pretty well, but I've seen that attack luckily enough times to know how to avoid it. And yeah, he's playing really smart at the moment, but I realize I can catch him. He has a habit of, like, backing up and running in, backing up and running in. So I realized I could catch him running in with the bloody slash, and that's what I do when I finish him off. So moving on to this fight. This guy, like, I think he reinvaded me, and I was confused for a minute. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know how he didn't see me because I was right in front of him, but I think he did that in order to go apply all his buffs and things because he comes back fully buffed. And yeah, I didn't know really what I was in for when I seen this, but I seen he was doing long ranged attacks of big wind up, and I was like, yeah, those are easy to punish. And I think he would keep going for him. I kind of felt him out in his place out. He would keep going for them, so I was like, yeah, those big attacks are easily exploitable. And I just wanted to keep the pressure on him and a lot of pressure so he didn't get any of them off because I do have a feeling like at the level we are, 120-ish, those things have the ability to one shot, especially like I've been getting ganked and outnumbered a lot, and I'll be focused on one guy and never seen it coming, like, ever. So I had to pressure him. This guy, I believe he was pretty honorable, like, but I think when I see the shield like that, I don't think they're not gonna use it, you know. So I don't know. I'm expecting like guard counters, but if he doesn't guard counter, I want him to continue to block because even if he's blocking, I'm building up bleed from the katanas and the consecutive hit. But he started spamming the beam attacks, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is no different from any other Moonville user. And I don't have a problem with, I don't want to bash people's setups and things like that, so I don't really have a problem with it. But I've seen so many of them that I know how they work, and he did what I predicted. He had a shield. He using it. It wasn't one that could parry, so I was just able to go through his defenses and proc a bleed on him. So here I switch up the weapons. I'm trying to role play his guts. I didn't get the regular great sword yet, so I just pretended his sword was covered in armor, role play plus. But great swords are extremely hard. These are actually colossal great swords, so they're not even normal great swords, and they're very slow. They leave you open, and you really can't make mistakes. Like, you have to play perfectly. Not to say you can't make mistakes or you're dead, but if you make a mistake, you're going to be heavily punished for it. Like, these weapons don't actually serve as much benefit as you think. You would think a bigger weapon, more damage, but people could have a straight sword or a lance or a thrusting weapon or anything and do more damage than you, and more damage in quicker succession. But that is not the case. They're going to do just as much damage as you, and they're going to do it faster depending on the weapon. So these type of weapons are more about risk reward, and you can punish them heavily. You'll see later on in some of the outnumbered clips that they can really be punished if they don't understand. And you have to be very good with this. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, you're not hitting anyone. You're not doing anything. Sometimes even when you think you've hit them, you're not, and you leave yourself open. And it's a lot of fun learning this weapon versus something like a katana. Katanas are like entry level easiness. Like, they're very easy to master and do good with. Yes, you can tell the difference between a bad katana user and a good katana user, but it's still relatively easy. Same thing with things like straight swords and some of these weapons out here, but the ultra great swords, or colossal as they're called in this one, is very rewarding, and especially if you pull off a win with them. And I'm liking it a lot more. Like I said, I'm role playing with this, so taking me a minute to learn these weapons. Also, I always have like a backup weapon when it comes to this, to like when they get low and put out a fast attack and poke them. It's kind of different depending on the build. Sometimes it's a katana, because the katana running attack R2 is really good at shaving off some health, or a little cast of a spell or something. I'm mixing and matching to see how it goes, because I really don't want to do that. As you see a double kill happen when I could have probably just baited him out and poked him like I did the whole fight. But good fight to that guy. Good fight to everyone, actually. So fighting this guy, I have never seen this weapon before, so I didn't know what it does, actually. And if you want to know how to get back-to-back invasion, I'm just standing at here in the first step, I believe, and I'm popping the furrow finger or whatever and using the tongue to get constant back-to-back duels, and it's really great for training and learning. Right there, I caught him mid-air, so it was good. He didn't heal, so respect to him. Like, he's just here to fight, and I'm with it. Like, let's get to the action. I can't quite, this weapon kind of throws me off. I think it's like a twin blade now that I was looking at it, or a twin blade moveset, but I wasn't really sure. And This man is bold. Like, he looked like he was running away, but I think lag caught him there. I'm not actually sure about his connection because the last time I striked him was a complete like 5 seconds ago, and he outspaced me and still died during that trade. But I was wondering why he didn't die during that trade to begin with. So latency on some people's parts is going to determine some of these fights. But all in all, a good fight to him. This guy seems rather honorable, so I'm not expecting any heals from him. I bow, he bow back. However, he has two katanas, so I'm really going to try not to like get caught by his attack. I'm going to try to let him make the first move always. That's not really always optimal because some of these things can punish you. And the range on the katanas are deceptive. There's a lot of phantom range on them, so even moves you think you've gotten out the way of, you probably haven't. So what I'm doing right now is just trying to read him to see what he's going to do. And like I said, yeah, the recovery on Ultra Great Swords is terrible. He was able to tag me. Like, I was already hitting roll as my attack came out, and it really didn't matter. And he caught me with a huge attack that did way more than my swing did. And I'm supposedly supposed to have the powerful weapons. And yes, I know how to build. I know what this weapon scales off of. I know a lot about it, but it does not seem to matter. The smaller weapons are often the better weapons. And right now I'm going to try to do an all for nothing attack and bait him in, but he strategically rolls under me and gets the attack off. So GG to this guy. He punished that long wind up of that jumping attack, and I paid for it severely. I actually thought I had that one in the bag, but like I said, bags are a mixed fight, and you never know what's going to happen. This guy, I don't think his build is as optimized as it could be. He's kind of curved swords, and he took a lot of damage from that one hit, so now he's panicking. And I'm trying to pressure him since I'm at full health. I really don't mind getting a trade off on this guy. And like I said, I'm thinking he's not built right at first because his damage was bad, but I think he actually gets some good damage off on me. And I'm like, I get confused. But I might be another fight with him. But GG, this guy, I caught him with a rolling attack coming in. I kind of knew he was going to run right into it, so predicted that. And good on that part. Right now I'm buffing up. I seen this guy. And keep in mind, these are like 120 duels, so I don't know what the dueling meta is going to be, but this is duels at 120. I'm actually making several characters to duel and fight in different ranges, 50, 60, 120, 100, and 150. So I have multiple characters to fight, and I'm already getting confused at which one I'm doing in most of these videos, but I'm assuming that my 120 is the only one that has this type of gear right now, so I'm assuming it's him. Although I'm going to get this armor set up with every tomb, so keep in mind. This guy is really good, but he's being a bit too patient, and he's trying to like let me come in so he can hit me, but I get him in the spear stun lock, and when he goes to back off in the bushes, the madness takes effect. The fool, he get hit with the fucking R2, excuse my French, the downward stab, the AoE splash, and he got stunned into the flame. So you can't play too passively. You can be passive, but don't be too passive. Now, I decided to switch up spots here, and I don't recall if this is an like invasion of one guy or two. Actually, I thought it was a mirror match. It's got to be the mirror match. Yeah, we're wearing the same weapon. He has different setups, so we're going to see who's learned the Ultra Great Sword, Colossal Great Sword the best. So I'm being very careful just because it doesn't do as much damage as the smaller weapons. It still does a lot of damage. Don't think it's like the smaller weapons do 100% damage and this one does 10. No, it's more like 100% versus like, 70, 80. So you can still chunk their health bar with this. And I'm trying to be careful. He did 2 double rolling attacks. I wasn't expecting it, but I knew I could eat anything. So I'm just going to chase him down and finish the fight. I really didn't want to give him too much room to back up. Most people in this area heal like crazy. Once again, I have nothing against it, but they heal like crazy, and I didn't want to give him too much space to pull out his heals, so I did that. Right now I'm buffing up because I believe this area I'm under a sense that you're never going to get 1v1s in this area. there's always going to be a phantom, so I'm watching out for the phantom. I actually had cut this. They would not like come engage me, and I knew that, so I buffed up. I'm trying to get this guy out the way. He's rather annoying, the phantom is. The host isn't too bad. The phantom is annoying. He has some very annoying spells. They're not even good ones, but they just hurt so much, and when you're getting pressured by someone else and someone gets a free cast of the big spells off on you, it's painful. But we managed to one-shot him while he went for a sip of his drink, which is great. And now the host, I'm just going to poke him to death. Like, I can see the shield. I can tell he's not really interested in engaging with me, so he just wants to be aggressive. Like, he kept swinging, had no thoughts for whatever about his defense, and it backfired on him. I think his defense was the phantom because I don't know what he was doing, but he kept trying to trade with me, and I wasn't even within range. Like, he was swinging at air, basically. Maybe that's some new tech I'm not aware of, but all in all, I come down this ladder. I think this is a decent one, and you're going to see the actual, like, power of the L2 of this weapon. Like, I think I run out here, I see some guys, and I realize this guy's crouching and everything. So what I'm going to do is just go around the corner really quick. And I know they're waiting on me. So I'm just going to go out and just hit L2. And this move it hits you with the weapon. And it hits you with the projectiles or whatever that comes out of it, the magic move. So that guy got one shot and this guy was one hit away. And it worked out perfectly there, luckily. So this move is a little more versatile than the other Ultra Colossal Great Swords. Keep that in mind. But I'm going to buff up here. They're doing a dragon farm. I don't want them to do dragon farm. I want to beat them, put them in a video. I see there's 3, so I'm going to try to take out the one that's not paying any attention to me right now. So, of course, I mean, why not? But his friends see me and they engage. And I've gotten a little better at these things. I used to just run away from these guys, but now I kind of run away but into them. I kind of mix it up to where that thing does a lot of damage, by the way. But I thought it would kill them and do all the damage. However, I don't think the sword swipe actually hit them, just the AoEs that they ran into. So they got a little lucky. See, my sword is a bit too slow for these guys, so I pull out the Vike's War Spear. And they catch me trying to heal, but I have to get healed up because I just don't want to get one shot. And right now I'm trying to pick the best time to heal, which was right there. I get out of the way of some of their moves. I'm trying to keep an eye on all of them. They're really spastic. Catch that guy coming in, but I completely miss. But the madness still procs on him, so I know if I get it again, I can maybe get a stun off on him. But they're playing really aggressively. Like, I interrupted their dragon farm, and they are not happy. So I'm just trying to keep a little distance between us and poke at them. I know the summons have limited healing, as do I. Limited flash, that is. I don't know what their healing is, but I'm trying to poke at them and make them heal. That way they can't recover. This guy runs right into the spear, and I timed that perfectly. He gets one shot, one down. We're going to get the other 2. This guy is pretty squishy, so we get him the same way. Now it's just the host. I think this is actually fat rolling, so he's not really going to be able to, stop me from roll catching him. And we end up poking him to death. And 1v3s at this level, like around 120, are pretty fucking hard. They're not like the low level 50 1v3s. So keep that in mind. Like, people are on one-shot builds. Everything can one-shot you. I cut this because they were standing there forever not wanting to fucking engage. Once again, excuse my French, but they just would not engage me. And what I mean by not engaging is they would take off, like, sprinting, and I'm not really going to chase them to a place where they have the advantage. That would be ridiculous of me. So, thank goodness there's no Seed of the Giants in this game, even though the enemies can hit you. But I was trying to catch this guy, but it targeted the other guy, and now I'm looking for a space to heal. Luckily, the guy can't range me. I didn't have enough range to hit me, but I'm trying to keep an eye on both of them. This Phantom seems squishy to me, So of course I want to focus him first, and I was right, he was definitely squishy, but the host interrupts and saves his life. He tries to sip up, but we get him in the full combo and he can't get out of the AoE. I have no health left and no flask left though, so I back up, get a distance. I have one, and he fucking hits me again. Once again, excuse my French, but he's basically trying to chip damage me right now, and I am completely out of healing from fighting him. So what I'm trying to do is exploit the fact that I'm a little better of a player. That's all I can say. Like, I have to make sure, I have to wait till him go through all his heals. I don't know how many he has left, if any, due to this fight. But I have to wait for him to go through most of his heals or catch him with a lot of big attacks to the point where he can't heal. So I'm trying to outplay this guy. It's really tough, and I'm trying to keep getting him low so he has to be forced to heal. And I'm trying not to die myself. I don't really have a lot of health, and like I said, I'm trying to play to my advantages of being a slightly better player. Even though, like, we're all new to this game, a lot of people are veterans at the other Souls game. They have a semblance of how things work, and that's what I'm counting on. I know how things work, even though I hadn't played a Souls game before this in years. I actually played Demon Souls a week before this came out, just to refresh myself, but that's not really enough of a refresher. There's some people who has never gotten off of this, but we're all new to Elden Ring, and I'm trying to, you know, use that to my advantage, that I think I have a bit more skill than he has at the game, and it's a really hard fight, but we managed to get the madness stun off, and now we're just going to repeatedly poke him, forcing him to heal, and he's basically burned a lot of potions right now. I can tell, like, we procced madness on him. We hit him with like 4 bursty attacks for almost all his health in a row, so now I'm just trying to, you know, use my, I almost died there actually. So this one's tooth and nail, and he knows that he's trying to bait me and finish me off with the crossbow, and I'm just sidestepping and waiting for my chance to get a little bit of advantage and win this fight. This was a well-earned one. Like, that almost took me out of the game. I wasn't expecting it. And right now I'm getting distance. He's going to rush me because I'm literally a well far away from death. So he's going to get aggressive and try whatever he can to chip damage me. He's probably waiting to teabag and all these things, but we're going to try to outpace him and use that to our advantage. He's just running straight on, and we know that, so we're going to attack and stun lock him. When people see you low, they're going to spam attacks on you. So they think they're going to be able to trade, but I know that weapon like the back of my hand. I know he can't trade with me, so I continue to poke him as he continues to try to get his swing. Once he realized what happened, he tries to roll back. We roll catch him, and it was a well-deserved win. This one, I think this is a duel. I'm not sure. In fact, almost positive it is a duel, but oh, this guy. He ran around the map fighting this guy for the longest. I let them do their thing, and then he kept hiding in the church. So I'm just trying to, he has a lot of strong AoEs. He has Frost Stomp and the Dragon thing, and for some reason he has endless FP. Like, yeah, he has potions and used them, but his base FP, or whatever it is, the blue bar, is crazy. And I don't want to get caught in one of these AoEs, so I'm rolling backwards in case I need to run away from them and trying to bait him. He finally came out the church, though, where I can space out those AoEs, and I hit him. And he's going to do an AoE. I know this. He's forcibly forcing him on himself, and I want to take all his health, so I'm going to risk the trades with him. And that's basically my plan, to risk a trade with this guy and get him out before he can recover and use a lot of those AoEs. He's playing really passively, and I told you guys about this earlier. It's decent against people who don't know what they're doing, but someone will very much so chip you away from this. And he tried to trade AoEs with me and ended up getting one shot. But that was like a freaking 15-minute fight. As you can see, the other phantoms and things in the area. Like, I don't like chasing people around that much. Outnumbered is different. They have to chase you. You invaded their world. But 1v1, I think we should just fight each other. It's my opinion. Don't really know. Okay, this invasion, I'm not really sure of, actually. like I said, I started invading after I popped the tongue because I was actually trying to get outnumbered fights in these areas, but I don't think a lot of people need help going through the early game areas. I mean, yeah, people still play with their friends and things like that, but I think this is around the 120-ish level. I don't think anyone's really in this area. So this guy's ready for 1v1s. He used a tongue for me to get in his world. I'm not sure of his build. Like, it might just be a basic quality build, and I think he's been trying to poison me. I'm not sure of that either, but this is one of the longer fights I had. And he's not bad. He's not bad, but like I said, playing super passively won't really get you anywhere. So he's just overly passive. I thought he was trying to maybe parry me, so I started going for jump attacks. And I just really don't want to get parried. Like, if you're easy to read, you're easy to parry. And that's the thing. I always try to do something different than what I did the last time. The only time I do something consecutively of what I did is if I know it's going to work. And I don't think he heals, so he's definitely out here just waiting a duel. And I'm trying to mix it up, take that little bit of life. Don't think because someone's low. You saw the last video. Don't think because someone's low and they're hit away, you cannot be punished unto death. Trust me, don't make that mistake. Doesn't matter what their health is, they can finish you. But trading right there was bad for him. I have enough poise to where I get hit, but my hit goes through. I'm not stun locked like the other guy was, and we end up winning that. Couple more fights. I think they're both duels, and we're going to go ahead and get out of there. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a different video. Like I said, you could have put on your Spotify and Apple Music, but I wanted to, show you my mindset going into these things as I'm learning, because I'm nowhere near the best. This guy had a pretty unique build, and it caught me off guard. I know he's got low poise because of the armor he's wearing, but he's built into that. The poise right there allowed him to tank my hit and stab me. That's crazy, the poise skill. And it kind of caught me off guard, and I was like, oh crap, I have to watch for that. So he's doing it again. I'm like, freak, he's going to win every trade. He's going to win every trade like that. When somebody's doing that move, and like I said, the smaller weapons hit as hard as our weapon. So my weapon is going to hit him, but he's going to hit me harder just because of how the game works. And when I traded with him, you see the chip damage I did to him, and meanwhile he chunked about a quarter of my health bar. So I'm not trying to trade for him, but I seen how long the poise little buff lasts, and I'm like, that can be exploited. So I'm trying to keep my distance and do pokes at him because he's pretty fast. And the reason I'm doing the rolling attack is basically to be able to hit him at a longer range than say my standing R1 would do or anything like that. The reason I did that L2 is because I thought he would run in on me, but he's smart. He's seen the move before, which is why I said dueling is great. You get to learn a lot of moves and skills you normally wouldn't see in ganks, but he caught me off guard trying to cast there. That was really good. And once again, he chunked a lot of my life bar, and now he's trying to trade with me to win, but we go airborne. I knew he was going to try to trade with me, and I had to time it down on that move, so we go up in the air. He was expecting to counter, but we are out of the range. If you didn't know, attacks actually have good hitboxes in this. Like if attack can go over your head, it will. If attack can be jumped over, you can jump over it, and you can outspace a lot of attacks too. So keep in mind, jumping over attacks is absolutely a thing. Also, jumps have iframes. This is the last fight here. I think this guy's using two twin blood flames, but he tried to trade. I seen he's actually swinging quite slow. I thought I was swinging slow, and it's funny because it's the faster weapon. I don't know if he's dual wielding is the case, but I can see the wind up from a mile away of his skills. So I'm just going in, trying to take big chunks of damage. He heals, so I switched to a more damaging setup because I want to be, and a more rangeful setup. The reason I have the spear as backup is because of the range on it, but I don't, in case I hit him with a bitch damaging attack from the spear, I want to be able to catch his roll and catch him if he backpedals and leaves out of range. So catch him coming in with the madness. That wasn't really supposed to do damage to him. It's just to build a little madness on him. The meter is invisible, but I know I'm going to be poking him with the spear. So poke him, get a couple pokes off. And we're just trying to build madness and stun him because we don't want him healing once he actually gets low. He's being aggressive because he thinks my health bar is low. Everyone does this. Trust me, most new people, they see you low and they become aggressive on you. He tried to backpedal, but the AoE splash damage was too much. Got the madness on him. That's the end of the video. Peace.